Okay, so I've tried to make this video several times and way too long. So, let me just get to the point. So, really rough week. Today is Thursday. And, you know, I had a 2-pound gain last week. And, you know, I wasn't really worried about that because I was going to get back on track. We were going to be doing so awesome and blah, blah, blah. Well, Monday kind of went to crap. So, that was Monday. Tuesday, I did well in the morning, and what threw me off was this trip out of town for work. So, Tuesday I had a protein shake for breakfast, and then for lunch before I left to go out of town, I had some fish and some black beans. And so that was good. And then we ended up, it was a 4-hour drive out of town with coworkers. And so only one of my coworkers know that I had weight loss surgery, but she is no help, okay? And so, I shouldn't say that. But anyways, and so, you know, we had got to the hotel, we checked in, it was already going to be 6 o'clock, so we were hungry, and so we went to Outback Steakhouse, and, you know, everybody was getting drinks, and, you know, it was just kind of like, get a drink, blah, 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 so I was like, oh my gosh. So, the only one that looked remotely interesting was like a 400-calorie drink, so I ended up getting that. Super delicious. Oh my gosh. I asked the guy, I was like, is this a kiddie drink? Because it is way too good to have any alcohol in it. So good. But anyways, and so I was kind of like, I mean, I'll go to the gym in the morning, right? And so I had that. I had a steak and a sweet potato and some steamed vegetables. And so that meal wasn't bad. I had plenty of time to eat. We were all chatting. I just took my time. I was okay. I did have some blooming onion. One of the workers ordered it. It was like, here, everybody have some. And so it was just kind of like, ugh. And there was that. And then the next morning we had our meeting, and I felt super rushed. Went to the gym at 5:30 in the morning as soon as they opened up, and people were already in it, already had all the equipment taken, so I wasn't able to do cardio like I wanted. So I did do weights because I was like, I'm not gonna not do anything. So I did do a weight routine, and I did some abs, and so I did that. So I was like, okay, you know, I got something accomplished. And then went back up, started getting ready, and then all of a sudden the boss calls and is just like, oh, I'm gonna provide breakfast, come down. And so it was just kind of like, well, I would like my breakfast paid for, you know, and I really don't want to stop at McDonald's or whatever and get something to eat. So if I can eat at a restaurant, I'd prefer to do that. So then I was super rushed, got down to eat. The place was kind of busy, so then it was like by the time I got my food, it's like I had not even 20 minutes to eat. And so I ended up being really rushed, and I ended up throwing up my food. So I threw that up, and then I took it to go, and I kind of was able to eat a little bit more before we left for the meeting, but not much. And so throughout the meeting, here I am starving, and before lunch, and there's all these snacks that they put on the table. So I ended up eating the snacks, and the snacks go down fine because they're candy and cookies, right? And so there was that, and then we ended up having lunch, and then it was like there's a huge long line, and then finally get my food. And, you know, we're already rushed because they're like, oh, the quicker we get done with lunch, the quicker you can go home. And let me tell you, it's a 4-hour drive, so the quicker I want to go home. And so, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, so I was completely rushed for lunch, ended up throwing that up. And so because you're sitting here around a table of like 8 people, so you know, here I am, the only one with my plate left on the table, and it still looks full of food. So I think that's one of my biggest issues I noticed, is that like I got too much food, and so it looked like the same size for everybody else, but really for me it was just way too much food. So whatever food I did eat looked like nothing. So it's just kind of like people are, you know, looking at me, and so it just was very uncomfortable situation. And like I said, I just felt really rushed, and I don't know if I just didn't chew enough or what, but I really take my time when I eat, and so not to be able to do that was really hard. And so like I said, I ended up throwing that up. I had to stand up, walk around in the back for a little bit, and you know, awkward, you know, situation. And so yeah, and then so, you know, here I am, I threw up the food, and you know, lunch is come and gone, and so I'm hungry, you know. And so of course, what do I eat again? The snacks in the middle of the table, right? And so it just really bothered me, really irritated me. And then, you know, here we are, and meeting's over, now we're on our way home. Of course, you know, we're not getting home till at least 8 o'clock, and so we stop for dinner. And you know, where else do we stop but Taco Bell? And so, you know, I get, you know, 1 or 2 items, and I try to eat that. And again, you know, we're rushed because my co-pilot or whatever didn't, you know, we didn't even really want to stop, but they're, you know, we're all hungry, and there's, I don't know, 4, 6 of us. And so it was just kind of like rushed again. And so even with that, I start sliming, and so it's kind of like, then, you know, I get the rude comment of, oh, I didn't know ladies spit and this and that, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, well, you know, I'd rather be spitting than trying to throw up, right? And so it's just was such an awkward situation. And you know, here I am, I don't know, September, October, November, December, January, February, year and 5 months post-op, and I'm having these issues. And so that really bothered me. That really bothered me that I hadn't figured out how to deal with these kind of situations. And you know, I'm very, very, very rarely put into these situations where I am surrounded by a bunch of people that, you know, don't really understand how I eat. And so and I think I catch myself all up in it, you know. If I were to just, you know, this is just how I eat, this is just, you know, but I think for some reason I feel like I think they remember how I used to eat. And so I don't want, you know, it to be like, oh, well, you didn't used to eat like that, or, you know. And then I get a lot of people that are constantly complimenting on how I look and how great I look, and what am I doing and what's my secret, you know. And I don't want people to think like, oh, well, it's because she's starving herself, or oh, well, because she doesn't eat, or oh, well, you know, she never enjoys anything, no wonder. And so it's like I'm always thinking of all these things that people could be thinking about me and judging me, and I need to stop. I need to not feel like people are judging me so much. And if they are, oh well, you know, I'm happy, and that's what matters. And you know, these people aren't my friends, or, you know, whatever. They're just, you know, coworkers, people you know, I work with, not my friends and family. And so, you know, really ultimately what they think isn't really that important, right? And so, you know, I really just need to focus on that and wrap my head around that. And you know, and so it just kind of all hit me yesterday. And so I just had a really rough time, and then I just ended up eating everything that I shouldn't have eaten. And so it was kind of like, here I am, you know, trying to have a loss this week, and I feel like my whole week has gone to shits because of the last couple days. And it's like, if I'm not on point the whole entire week, it's so hard for me to lose at this stage in the game. And so I just feel defeated. And you know, it's nobody's fault but my own. you know, and so it's just was hard, and you know, trying not to beat myself up over it. And you know, I didn't realize that I still had these kind of issues, you know, when faced in these kind of situations. So it was interesting, and midweek update, I guess. So I'm already at my time and I don't want to make another video, so that's that. Talk to you guys later. Bye.